Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Scarlett and I have a special video for you guys today. A while back, I did a wonderful interview with a fellow YouTuber, Smilin Observer, and I enjoyed talking to him so much. I wanted to have him on my channel again. So this will be a video focusing on mental health, depression, and specifically social anxiety. And I do a lot of videos with mental health, addiction, depression, all of that, and I just want to continue that series. So welcome to my channel. Welcome to this video. Smilin Observer, hello.
Hi, thank you for inviting me back.
Of course, I love talking with you last time, and we get along so well, and we've known each other for quite some time, so it's always great to be able to connect with another YouTuber.
Yes.
So if you don't mind introducing, tell us a little bit about your channel.
Well, my channel is primarily focused on ASMR, but I've kind of drifted away from it and have kind of been posting some of
Mhm.
what moves me. ASMR has changed somewhat drastically since I started back in 2013. So and I never got into the trend of making custom videos for people. So I kind of wanted to keep it what I wanted when I wanted. That way I wasn't so pressured to do stuff because
Right.
YouTube wasn't my primary way of making money.
Hmm.
And I was just doing it for fun. And I really started YouTube just to kind of give myself therapy. so um so I make videos when I can and when I get an idea, and I try to keep
Right.
everything copacetic. And
Right.
then I started a paranormal podcast, which I haven't worked on in a while because I've been super busy. But I've been kind of incorporating that into my ASMR and making the kind of videos that I want to make.
Yeah. And so I'm excited to talk with you again about a subject that's so incredibly important and a lot misunderstood. And in our last video, we focused kind of, you told me your story, a little bit your journey and your situation with your depression. And with this video, I really wanted to specifically get into the social aspect. I know we talked for a little bit before this video about sharing our experiences and having a lot of the same experiences and feelings with social and being around people and kind of feeling like wanting to avoid them and everything. So I said, definitely we need to do this topic because it ties in. And I didn't really, personally for me, didn't really realize that it really does tie into depression and there's just so many layers. So I really wanted to dive into this and talk more about it. So you could, I guess, tell me a little about if there's certain triggers or social situations or kind of whatever you struggle with kind of in that department.
I find myself uh, straying away from people. I just don't want to be around people all the time, and that may be due to some introversion. I'm not a textbook introvert, but I just don't want to be around people too much. And it's not because I dislike people. I like people. I
Mhm.
love them, in fact. Um, I just, I'm sorry, I'm knocking things over here. I just find myself wanting to be um, alone, more so because I,
Mhm.
I I go to work and I'm surrounded by people and I have no problem interacting with them. But once I get home, I just want to shut the world out
Right.
and just charge up, so to speak. And
Yep.
how my depression kicks into this is um, when my depression kicks in, I just kind of I become lethargic. I become super lethargic, and I just lose the energy to do things. And I just kind of want to lock myself away and just not go anywhere and not do anything. And you ask what triggers it? I don't know. I have no
Mm.
idea. Like one time I got a speeding ticket and um, I didn't pay for it right away.
Mm.
And so eventually my driver's license got suspended. And it was because I didn't pay for the ticket. And it was because
Right.
when I got the ticket, it triggered an episode of depression that lasted
Mm.
for a while. But that was before I even knew that I was depressed. And
Right.
so it just kind of kicked in and kind of took over. I can
Hmm.
still go to work. I can still do the things I need to do. But
Right.
when I looked at that ticket and the court date and whatnot, I just went,
Mhm.
I just don't have the energy to deal with this.
And you get the kind of like dread feeling in your stomach and your
Yes.
chest.
It
Yep.
just and
No,
and
I
that's one way that it comes. If I notice it coming, I'll do things to try to prevent it and to
mhm.
try to sort of fight against it. But sometimes I'll just wake up and be going about my day, and then I realize, oh, I'm depressed.
Mm.
Huh, how do I get out of this?
Right. Right. Yeah. Like I mentioned to you earlier, I kind of I've had, issues with depression and anxiety lifelong. And I
Mhm.
think at this point I'm just so comfortable and used to it that I'm kind of littling, like, making it seem like it's not as big of a deal, I think, because I'm just so used to it.
Right.
But it really does go hand in hand with so many things. Um, what have you found over time that has helped you or kind of distracted you? Have you started looking into anything like that or have anything that you do to kind of like help?
Well, I was looking into therapy,
Mhm.
and excuse me, it is so hot down here. I'm
No,
sweating.
I'm hot here too.
But I tried. Um, I decided to see a therapist, and my mistake was I went to the VA,
Mm,
and I really don't want to talk bad about the VA, but I
right.
kind of do because sometimes they do some things. It's just what are you thinking? But
Mm,
I went to the VA, and I I just I was just trying to be open with this woman and what I was experiencing. But this was during the war,
mm,
and I'm not a combat vet,
right.
and she was the way she reacted was just so extreme
Mm,
that it kind of scared me away from getting therapy, and to the point that I stopped and I realized I told this woman too much. I told this professional woman too
yeah.
much. And I've read and I've heard some of our military guys who have been to war and came back, and how they were going through things, and what happened with them when they said too much. Why am I being so secretive?
Right.
Suicide. I wanted to
Mm,
discuss suicide with her,
mm,
and um, the way she reacted, just it scared me, and it
yeah.
made me think I am never seeking therapy again. And so for like the better part of 10 years, I would not seek therapy.
Hmm.
Because I didn't think of myself as that bad. Because I thought if I'm conscientious of it and I'm worried about it, then I'm in a good place, right?
Right.
But it's still it's still there. It's still a burden in my life. It's still something I have to deal with. So I started doing things like I started gaming. Um because after I got out of the military, I got away from gaming, and I'm like, I'm in school now. I'm focused
Right.
um on my career here. I don't got time for that childish things. But I started gaming, and believe it or not, gaming helped me out a lot.
I agree. I get
It,
it. Hmm.
I was able to get a lot of the weight off of my shoulders through gaming.
Hmm.
Uh, unfortunately, um, my ex didn't understand that,
Mm,
and she tried to get in the way of me focusing my time on gaming because she thought it was childish and she
yeah.
didn't understand what was going on. And I couldn't really explain it to her. And so we ended up splitting for unrelated reasons, but that's one of the reasons why we ended up splitting.
Right.
And ever since then, um, gaming has kind of been there for me. Um, Also,
Hmm.
YouTube helped out a lot. I began to make videos. A lot of the stories and whatnot that came into my head, I was able to get out through an artistic expression, so to speak. And it was about 2013 when I discovered ASMR. Actually, it was earlier on, but it wasn't until 2013 when I saw that this is a community. It's a nice community. I've met a lot of people. Maybe I should start contributing. And so I started to contribute, and I started to get a lot of stuff off my chest and get through a lot of things and work through a lot of things through YouTube. And
Hmm.
and it was fun. I met a lot of very good people, or a lot of very um, nice people,
Hmm.
um, people who became, whether they knew it or not, celebrities in my eyes.
Yep.
But celebrities I could be friends with, and I
Hmm.
have to worry about being hit with the, yeah, you're stalking.
Right.
But and one ASMR artist, I even got to meet up with him when he visited Seattle. I got to spend a couple of minutes with him. Out of took the time to hang out with him for a little bit.
Right.
It was wonderful. But all of this kind of helped alleviate the depression,
Hmm.
even if it didn't make it go away. And so
Right.
I never even knew I was depressed. I never really understood what depression was until I was talking to, because I was a part of the ASMR Outlaws when that was a
Right.
thing. And we all friended each other on Facebook, and we would communicate. And I read someone's post, and then I posted how I felt. And I began to talk about how I just feel so lethargic and just don't have the
Mhm.
energy to do anything. I just don't want to do anything. I can still go to work. I can still um, go to church and whatnot, but I just
Right.
don't have the energy to do anything.
Right.
And I just feel so lethargic. And she said, "You're depressed." And I'm
Mm.
like, "No, you don't know what depression is. Depression is my cat dies and it makes me sad." And then she went on to explain it. And that got me on the path of understanding
Wow.
myself a little better. And then I look back on my life and I was like, oh my goodness. I thought about all the times that I had outbursts as a kid, and even as a young adult, and just different situations that happened in my life. I realized that that was my depression.
Mm.
And um, to a point that it was probably a good thing that I didn't stay in the United States Marine Corps,
Right.
because the level of stress that Marines exist under, very few people can take it.
Hmm.
Um, I did it for 4 years, and I was going to do it for 20,
Mm.
but after 4 years, my the path of my life changed, and I realized I can't change path and stay on the Marine Corps. I have to let something go. And so
Mm.
I made the decision to get out of the Marine Corps. And that was a good decision um, because I was due for an outburst,
Mm.
and I don't want to get to that place again.
Right.
And so now that I'm been a civilian for almost 30 years, um, my my point of outbursting has I've learned how to control myself better
Right.
and not respond so aggressively. And so breaking up with my ex was necessary. That way I didn't do anything erratic or out of the way.
Mm.
Not that I would have, but still, just the pressure is there, and I don't need to be under that kind of pressure.
Right.
And I started doing time of peace. I can only imagine how those guys, that went through the war, deal with
Mm,
things.
a lot.
But I know I'm giving you a lot of information. I actually forgot the question
Anything
that
you
you
can,
asked.
I'm sure, of course, it's so helpful. And part of the reason why I started doing these videos is because if I could just help one other person, they can randomly find this video and they can relate to it,
Right,
means a lot. So talk
right.
away.
Oh, you asked, what have I done to help it? Something else that really helped was my faith in God.
Mm,
Um, my faith in God has helped a lot. Serving God and going to church and being active in my church, even though the depression kicks in and it makes me just want to stay home and shut myself in.
right.
Um, and then the pandemic came along, and it was kind of a blessing in disguise because uh, it allowed me to lock myself away without people questioning, why are you locking yourself away?
Right.
Because I don't want to deal with people all the time.
I, and I remember thinking, when my daughter was doing the whole online learning, whatever, I was thinking, like, if this went on when I was in school, I would be in heaven.
Yes, I think I would have rather been homeschooled myself.
Yeah,
But at the same time, I did need the experience of going to public school,
true.
because there's a certain part of me that needed to have the starch in my shirt broken, so to speak. Because when you get out into the world isn't going to be,
Any better, right?
yeah, it's not going to be like at home. You gotta be, you gotta get out there and meet people, and those disappointments are necessary. You learn to deal with it so that when it
Right.
happens and you're 25, you're not crushed. You don't go home and cry. And sometimes you may still go home and cry, but you get up and you go the next day and you're like, it's like nothing. I'm not going to let you.
Yep. Yep. So, speaking of just kind of, we're focusing on the social aspect of depression. Do you, would you say that you've kind of always had a core group of close friends, or did you have a hard time, or do you have a hard time keeping friends? How has your friend situation been through your life with correlating with depression and socializing and whatnot?
So it's funny that you should ask that, because uh, I've my core friends have started to build me as, how are you the way that you are, but you you don't want to be around people. You like people, but you don't want to be around people. I don't know. I can't explain it. But um, over the course of my life, I've had few people that I can look back on and say, yeah, that guy was my friend. That girl was my friend. Um, there's a bunch of people now that they may say we were friends, but in my mind, I'm like, we were friendly.
Hmm.
We weren't friends. And they say time will tell. Time has definitely told who my
Hmm.
friends really are.
Yeah.
And they're the people that I still communicate with. So that goes without saying. That doesn't mean that if someone from the past comes up and we kind of reconnect and we talk or whatever, that doesn't mean that we won't be friends.
Right.
But in terms of my core friends, um, those are the people that have been there from start to finish. And those are the friends that I currently do a podcast with. And we met when we were in junior high,
Mm.
and their friends became my friends and my friends became theirs. And today, here we are. Everyone's adults. We've all gone our separate ways. And actually, we met on our 25-year mark of being friends and knowing each other. We met up and we went to a wrestling event in North Carolina.
That's great.
And I have 10 minutes. I'm going to try to wrap this up. But
Mm,
after 25 years, we met up, and it was like we never parted ways. And that
great.
right there was a tell for me that these are my friends.
Great. That's so rare. It's
Yes.
wonderful that you can have that. What a gift. Well, don't want to keep you, but it's been so great talking with you on such an important subject. And I really feel like it seems like, especially in this country, mental health, it's beginning to kind of open up a little more recently in the last few years, but it's definitely still really misunderstood and judged. So it's really great just to be able to talk with you or anybody, about this. And I especially love talking with you because we get along so well and we kind of are part of the old school, ASMR, YouTube, all that jazz. So thank you so much for talking with me. Guys, go ahead and check out Smilin Observer. He is awesome. He does some really great Reddit scary stories, all that good
Yes.
stuff. So thank you so much for talking with me.
Well, again, thank you for having me. We out of all of my online ASMR friends, you're the one that have been in constant contact. You and
Oh,
ASMR Duck.
that's sweet. That's nice. Thank you. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for watching. I hope you found something that you could relate or enjoy this video, and I'll see you guys later. All right, bye-bye.
Bye.